Hi guys, can you hear me? Yay! How are you guys? I figured I'm alone in my camper this weekend and maybe I'd try and pop on into an impromptu live. If anybody has any questions they want answered or anything, um, I might work on some pens. I did bring some stuff to weed, but I don't think I feel like weeding anything tonight, so, because I have 3 sheets of ornament pieces that need to be weeded, and I'm just not sure I'm feeling that. But I did bring the stuff to do that. And then I brought a bunch of, that's for my sister from that Michael's box. I brought that because they'll be up at some point tonight, I believe. Is it buffering really bad? Hopefully maybe it'll catch up. Not for you, Kelly or Mary? Okay. I'm my parents' camper is next door and they actually have the Wi-Fi there, so, and I've never actually tried to go live from here. I don't try and go live anywhere because I don't have Wi-Fi at home that'll support it, so I was like, well, maybe it'd be fun to try from the camper. Unfortunately, it likes to focus on me, so you can't really see my view out the back, but that is Lake Ontario behind me if anybody was wondering. Maybe if I stand up, it'll focus on that a minute. There you go. The lake is like glass today. It is absolutely beautiful. And I've been outside pretty much since I got here, so I decided I was ready for a break. Yeah, when we, my dog is here with me, so I'm not really alone. Sorry. um, we'd been looking for someplace up along the river or the lake for years. We'd just go for drives and drive around and look, and then we'd driven by this place like a million times and never stopped in because it's marked private at the end of the road, so we never felt comfortable driving in. And then there was a camper for sale a couple spaces down, and we saw that on Facebook and we were like, well, let's go look at it. Well, the camper was absolute crap, but I'm getting out my big bin of beads. The camper was terrible, but the space was beautiful, and he told us this site was available, so we were like, well, yeah, we want it. We didn't even actually have a camper at the time, so we did, but we had a truck bed camper. I shouldn't say we didn't have a camper. So we found this camper within a week and moved in that weekend, and it was just crazy. Then my parents came to look at it. Actually, we drove up to pay him the deposit on the site. My parents met us here then, and then they were actually going to take the site that way of me on the second row. They paid him a deposit for that site on the spot, and then this site next to us opened up, so my parents took that. We went on vacation about 30 miles away from here, if that, up the river, and we all drove down one day so my family could see it, me and my sister and my brother-in-law, and he offered my parents that site, which opened up the site my sister's on, so my sister and her husband took that site. So we have this kind of little L-shaped compound, and we have a set of stairs because there's a little drop off to the lake over there, and not a big drop off, but you know, a nice little drop off. So it's really nice. We enjoy it, but it's about a 2-hour drive. So I've been doing that 2-hour drive every weekend all summer. So that does get to be a lot sometimes, but yeah, that's where I'm coming to you from, because my parents aren't coming up this weekend. And like I said, my sister and her husband, they'll be up late after work. So yeah, fur babies are the best company. My boy's getting pretty old here though, so, and he just inhaled his dinner, so if he makes any yucky noises, I'm sorry. It'll be what it'll be. But I'm gonna try and slide you guys back a little bit so you can kind of see me and we can chat and you can kind of see what I'm working on maybe. I'm gonna have to kind of angle you down a tiny bit, I think. Maybe. And yeah, that's a Temu bag over there in the corner because I picked that up from the mailbox on my way out the door. So. Ooh. I don't need to fall. Oh gosh, 15. Yeah, that would be a little scary. I think 12 is scary enough. What kind of fur baby is it? Hi Deborah, how are you? When my sister gets here, she'll have her fur babies. She's got a 9 or 10-year-old cat, and then they have she'll be a year in November, German Shepherd, and she is an absolutely awesome dog, but man, she's wild. 17, wow. I need to get a paper plate or something. Luckily, nothing's far away in the camper. Because this is the part where I'll start dropping everything. Aw, tiny little terrier, how cute. They don't take up much room in bed, do they? My dog's a golden retriever. Westies are beautiful dogs too. My guy's laying over here on the floor, doing what he does best. I figured you meant fox for a terrier. So what's everybody got planned for the weekends? I've never actually done a live, so I don't really know. Like, I was worried I'd be uncomfortable, awkward, I don't know. Oh, Mastiffs are great dogs too. They take up a little bit of space. Oh, my boyfriend wants a Frenchie. Aw, a little Maltese. Holy, 175 pounds. My Golden's like 90 and he's a big boy. I can't imagine. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start with these. I don't even sell these pens. I just got addicted to making them. And I may or may not have 2 more $30-ish Temu orders coming that are basically all pen supplies. So, yeah. If you're ordering any cups, you're going to find pens. What's my favorite crafty thing to make? Tumblers are probably the longest thing I've been really heavily into, but I have tried 1,000,002 crafts. The only thing I will not do is I cannot knit to save my life. I've tried to learn to knit 1,000,002 times. I can crochet like nobody's business, but if you ask me to knit something, you're probably going to see me on the floor kicking and stomping my feet and having a hissy fit. I'm not. And at some point I decided I was going to do metal stamping jewelry, and my mom got me a whole bunch of stuff for Christmas, and that was definitely not a craft for me. I've been a paper crafter primarily my entire life. Me and my sister used to like just take a pack of construction paper and go in our bedroom and make costumes and stuff and come out and put on like an entire play. I mean, like, you know, if it was Mother's Day or Mom's birthday or something, we'd be you know, making flower bouquets at a ridiculously young age. My mom always did craft shows when we were kids, and I always tagged along. And then, I couldn't tell you exactly what age, but I'm going to say maybe 11. I took up like fine beading, and I was making like all kinds of jewelry. And I mean, I might make 30 bucks at one of her craft shows, but like it was me making something to sell. Like it was just always fun for me. Somewhere at my house, I still have my original, like, my dad had bought me a tackle box and like given me some startup money to buy like a million seed beads and things. And there's my dog now. He's itching. Blake dog, what are you doing? Come here. You don't want to come here? Okay. But yeah, I've always done some kind of craft. Like, I've had a couple of moves where I had to pack up all of the craft supplies, and that's where at least having the ability to crochet comes in handy, because you don't need any room for that. He's a very old boy with not the greatest teeth, because we took him in at a year old, and he's kind of funny. He has this stellar lineage that goes back to President Ford's dog, to Liberty at the White House, if you remember, you know, back to those days. But the people that bought him had him for a year, and they like tied him to a 3-foot chain in their garage, and that was his entire life. Like, it was that little. He was allowed into the house when they slept, and that was it. So he spent the first year of his life doing nothing but chewing on rocks. So he doesn't have the greatest teeth, and as he gets older, they're getting worse, but he can still eat and do all of those things. So he does take a glucosamine supplement because he's old. Blake, you're driving me crazy. So he's been swimming in the lake a lot. He's got a lot of dry skin. But yeah, they were awful people. My coworker came into work last night and said, or one night, and said, my parents have this dog, they're abusing him, I'm going to take him to the Walmart parking lot tomorrow, and I'm just going to give him to somebody that looks decent. And I was like, well, what is it? And he was like, well, it's a golden retriever. And I said, let me go home in the morning and I'll talk to Dustin and see what he thinks. And I woke Dustin up when I got home, and Dustin was like, no, he's probably broken. And, you know, abused dogs can be hard, because the kids were still, I mean, they weren't little, they were probably 11 and 14 when we got him. But so it got to be like 10:30, and Dustin called me, and he's like, oh, call and ask if we can see that dog tonight. You know, I'd really like to see him. He wants to know what I got from Timu, even though he already knows. So we went and looked at him. We put him on a lead. We walked him around their yard. He'd sit, he'd lay down, he'd listen to us, and he just wanted to be free. So we said we'll take him, and he's my stick tight now. So yeah, but that's where he came from, and now he's gonna get a squeaky toy out, because of course, why not? But he is a lifelong chewer. He doesn't really do well with soft toys. He's actually got a couple in here that he hasn't destroyed yet, but his teeth are getting too bad to chew on the Nylobones now, but that's been his entire, like, what he does. So but he's a good boy. He knows I'm talking about him. So at any rate, like I said, that's, you know, lifelong crafter, lifelong dog lover. My parents and my sister are primarily cat people, but my sister does, like I said, have a dog. So I do have more darker color beads coming from Timu. I don't even know what I have coming anymore. This is my problem with Timu, is I just order usually late at night, so I don't know what I'm ordering. And yeah. But I got in these really cute, I haven't even put the haul up yet, but I got these from Amazon, some horror figurines. So I want to get some of them on pens, and I did finish a video for the Doorables. I just haven't gotten that up yet. At some point here I will. The Doorables, when you make them into pens, you can't fit very many of them on. So all of my pens have either come from Amazon or Temu, and they're all exactly the same pen. Some of them come with refills, some of them don't. So, but some of these actually just arrived from Amazon yesterday. So, and they all come in these little individual, lots of plastic. And I need to get better about paying attention to what color I'm ordering. I do have some packs coming from Temu that are just black or just white. And I also didn't bring any of my finished pens with me, so I can never remember what order the Doorables work best in. But the Doorables take up so much room that a lot of the time you can only get like one bead and maybe one spacer on. I really do like making the pens though. I find it just very stress-free. And I got a phone call coming in, so I'm gonna have to ignore that and just let it ring through. I'll try and call him back later. But, yeah, I just enjoy the pen making. I find it just stress-free. And this one's not even gonna fit. I'm just spinning it on a road to nowhere. The Doorables are a little difficult to drill through, I will say that. But once you kind of get in the groove of doing them, I broke out the big drill to do some yesterday, and that actually worked really well, but I was a little scared while I was doing it. I'm not scared of the power tools, but the big drill drilling through something so small made me a little bit nervous. I won't lie. The problem with this Olaf is his little things are pretty high up on the pen. So this one is going to have a little bit of silver showing no matter what I do. There. I find it funny how popular the pens are right now. Like, they are all over TikTok. That's what everybody's doing. Like, if I scroll through on my lunch hour from work, everybody's sitting there making pens. It was for a while, everybody was making tumblers, and now it's, pens seem to be the thing. So, my problem here is I have a lot of black, white, gray, red beads coming, I think. I'm going to go back to I think. So I'm kind of limited on colors. These people that do these all the time and have like an entire room full of beads all sorted by category boggle my mind, because I can't imagine accumulating that much stuff that quickly to do it. But my collection is growing. I will admit that. So what other crafts other than tumblers, if you're a tumbler maker, do you all do? See, these ones I typically only get like 2 beads on. Ooh, traveler's notebooks, that's fun. I love anything paper crafty. I actually have not had time, like, all summer to look at my junk journals. My stand that all my junk journaling stuff is supposed to be accessible on is full of tumblers right now that I'm trying to de-stash them. I did find, and she's supposed to get in touch with me this weekend sometime, a potential new store to bring epoxy to, so that would be great. Oh, card making, that's fun. I haven't done that in a long time either. Of course, playing with resin. Doing rhinestones on tumblers. I don't have the patience for it. I still scrapbook. I'm not going to go to the October retreat I would normally go to because I've only been scrapbooking once or twice a year lately because I don't take as many pictures now that the kids are all grown up, and but I'm not going to do the October retreat that I would normally go to, and I'm not sure that I'm even going to go to the spring retreat this year. It's getting pretty expensive. The venue they use has sold, and they're still kind of in limbo, so wreath making, I haven't made a wreath in a while. I usually update the one that goes on my front door every couple of years for Christmas, but that's about it. My sister did buy a bunch of stuff a couple weeks ago. We went to a different Dollar Tree up here, and they had a great selection of wreath stuff. So I'll have to actually ask her if she's made her fall wreath or not. But I don't mind doing florals now and then. Oh, you're doing the mini houses and room kits. I see a lot of people do those, but I haven't, again, it's one of those things that it's too many parts and pieces, and I don't really have the patience for it, even though I've seen some really cute ones. I don't really like the way this springs. Top chat, live chat, messages are visible. Trying to see if I can get my comments to stay, but nope. The comments are fading in and out, and it's very strange. Home DIY, decorating, yeah. My house is pretty small, so it's, but it's really a pain to paint or do anything with, to be perfectly honest with you. It's not my favorite thing in the world to deal with. I actually, before COVID started, I had painted all the kitchen cabinets, and we have an open floor plan with a beam down the middle, and I'd painted the one side and ended up hating the color I painted it, so I picked a different color for the other side, and then I got the ceiling on this side done, but I still have not gotten to the ceiling on this side because ceiling painting's just the worst. I figure by the time I get to the ceiling painting, there'll be time to do the other side again and repaint the whole house. So yeah, not my favorite thing in the world to deal with. Yeah, some people love house painting, and my sister and I painted my son's entire house when he bought it in a weekend. The entire house. We left him with a little bit of touch-up space in like his front entryway, and last I knew it was still not done. He has still yet to finish that little tiny bit of painting we left him. I mean, I'm fairly certain his paints are probably dried out and no good at this point. If they weren't, I'd be very surprised. But luckily, the color that I hated on the kitchen half of the house, he actually really loved. So, because me, you know, I bought the color and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And I got it home and I hated it. Well, I'd bought 3 gallons of it. and, kitchen around the cabinets and, behind the fridge. And so I used maybe a half gallon of paint. So when he liked it and he wanted it, I was like, oh, thank God. We painted his entire upstairs that color. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, at least somebody used it. It was definitely not my color. Some of these pens, I just don't even know what to put with them. Some days you just don't feel it anyways. I do think I'm going to hold off on the horror guys though until the other supplies get here. Aw, have fun with your grandbabies. Thanks for stopping in. It's just an impromptu. I figured I'd jump on and hang out while I work on these. Because like I said, I grabbed that Timu bag and had a tripod with me, so it worked out. Not my brother, my son. Sorry, did I say my brother? I might have been thinking about my daughter and said brother, but no, it was my son. My son actually kind of upstaged his sister. He closed on his house on her 21st birthday. So, I don't think she'll ever get over that he, like, upstaged her that day. That was kind of funny. Oh, you're good, Mary. No big deal. I mean, I do trip over my words a lot and say the wrong thing, so it very well could have been me. You guys would probably be worried about me if I got everything right all the time. These beads are too big for this mug. I've been watching this girl on TikTok at night make these beaded keychains, and I'm like, you don't need to get into that. You really don't. I really don't. But I want to. But that would require a whole lot of extra supplies and tools, and those I would have to actually have the desire to sell. And this is what happens when you don't pay attention. You put the text upside down. Does anybody know if there's a way to get the comments to hold open? They flash up and down, and then until somebody comments again. Did I ever finish my rhinestone tumbler? The first one or the second one? The first one took me 2 weeks shy of a year to finish, and the second one, no. I haven't touched it in probably over a year. But I did make that half rhinestone one for the girl in the camper, several campers that way. But the first one I did finish. Oh, I don't have it here. That's my at-home cup. That's the one I've actually been using the most at home. And actually, over a year later, I think it's only missing like one teeny tiny rhinestone, which, for the fact that I did have some of them piggybacked, I think is pretty good. So, but this one just says best mom ever. I was kind of going to avoid using some of these mom ones because if I'm throwing them in orders as freebies, I don't necessarily know enough about everybody to know who would be a mom. But I don't know. I went shopping with my sister 2 weeks ago, and I gave her now my haul makes sense. I saw the unboxing. Couldn't figure out what you were going to do with the tiny cups. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're for focal beads. don't know, I saw them on Temu and thought they were cute. Like this one says good vibes only. There were 2 of each, so this one says girl boss. Coffee, teach, repeat. See, that's another one, like I wouldn't know who. I mean, wife, mom, boss. I wouldn't know who. That's going to be the problem if I keep them as like random giveaways. So it's something that I'm supposed to be keeping in the back of my mind, but like Eeyore, this little adorable, I'm gonna have to keep for myself because I just am. I don't really have a purple pen that he's gonna look good on. So in some ways I am trying to keep to more random generic. Oh, the tiny tumblers. Yeah, the fact that I bought 2 of them now, I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do with them. But I'm gonna do something with it. I love Eeyore too. He's my favorite Pooh character. Always has been. And then Dopey would be my second favorite Disney character. My Dopey pen is one that if I'm carrying it somewhere with me and somebody tells me it's cute, it's one they can't have. Any other pen that I have with me, basically, if somebody likes it, I will just hand it to them. Like I said, my sister, or I started to say, I don't think I even finished my thought, but my sister took hers. Oh, you have 2 of them in your Temu cart? I know, Temu keeps teasing me with the full sets, because it is much cheaper to buy a full set from somebody, but I'm like basically sitting on my hands and don't buy anymore, don't buy anymore, because I really don't need any more. I can't figure out how to fix the comments box. If I click on the comment thing and I click on keep it, it's different than when I watch somebody's live, than like it's on the wrong side of the screen and everything. I expected it to look just like when I watch somebody else live, but it doesn't. So I don't know. It's weird. I'm trying to see if I can even get the end of this pen back in. Like, usually when I watch a live, it shows up on the right side of my screen, and it just stays over a white box. You guys are coming up like semi-transparent on the left side of my screen. It's actually very strange. Alright, I think I got this one back in all the way. Yeah, no, I didn't really have a plan for this live regardless, so I just hopped around and seeing if anyone was around. I mean, there was no notice or warning given, so. See, mine's not even a solid box. It's text bubbles. I don't have 3 dots on top. I have 3 dots on the side. I wonder if it'll work from those 3 dots. I'm always afraid to hit anything because I don't want to disconnect anything. Nope, save. Mine says on my 3 dots, save, highlight, share, or mute the microphone, which would be a bad idea. And if I click on the chat thing, it gives me top chat, live chat, super chat, and none. And I just have live chat selected. But there's no... It's very strange. Where am I from? I'm from New York State. I'm actually currently right now in my camper on Lake Ontario. I'll duck out of the way. You can see my view out the back window. I'm not at home tonight. I'm camping by myself this weekend. I mean, I'm not really by myself, but there's nobody in my camper with me today, so. But yeah, I live in central New York area. I don't typically tell people exactly where I live because, yeah, it's an amazing view. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous out there. It was a beautiful day today, actually, but I have a feeling that it's going to start dropping rapidly now that the sun's starting to go down. Unfortunately, it's going to get cold. But hopefully not cold enough that I feel the need that I want heat tonight. Because my dog won't like it, and I won't like it. I mean, I'm capable of turning on the heat in the camper and all that, you know. I know how to work everything. I've been here alone before. Actually, it was originally going to be girls' weekend, just me and my sister, but then my brother-in-law decided that he was coming up too, so girls' weekend went out the window. 46 last night in Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was, when I drove home from work this morning at 5:30, I think it said 48. I am not an active firefighter. I'm just on the auxiliary right now. I wasn't responding to enough calls because it wasn't, I couldn't do it from where I lived. And we weren't getting very many nighttime calls while I was at work in the town I was a firefighter with. So there's one of those cute little fawns. Kelly, are you still here? Did you ever order any of these little guys? Hi, Gail. Your cups did go out this morning. I stayed home till the mail came. I watched him take it and scan it in and then put that Temu package in the box. So they should be there in a couple of days. I've noticed that the mail is really slow the last couple weeks. All of a sudden, and I don't know why. Yeah, I had weighed the box before I went to work last night, so I printed the shipping label this morning when I got home. What are what called? The little deer? Those are called like cute fawn or something. Because, you know, nothing's called what it actually is on Temu. Nothing. That's what I did with Eeyore. Like I said, this one's mine. That was the darkest, like, to gray pen I had. I made my daughter her 3 pens yesterday. They'll be in the 1 pen video coming up. Because I have pen tutorials on my other channel, but I did the one on this channel now. But I did do another full in-depth one with doing the doorables and all of that. So that'll be coming up here at some point. Once I get it edited. So sorry, just looking to see who was coming down the driveway. It's a little early. I didn't think it would be my sister yet, and it's not. Depends on how fast my brother-in-law drives tonight. Oh, what'd you order from Temu? I am so hooked on Temu. Like, I mean, we're a year into this now. I think I placed my first Temu order last October. Because the first month I was a little skeptical. And then I finally pulled the trigger on one of those, like, here's a $3 deal, and I ordered a pair of sneakers. Figuring worst case I was out $3. And, you know, here I am a year later, like, oh my God. Except my mom's actually worse than me, so. Oh, it's my diagonal neighbors. Okay. I thought it was a black truck coming down the driveway. It was not. It was red. Um, yeah, I'm so bad with Temu. Like, um, my mom and I split an order of sublimation tumblers last week. I ordered them, and fall decor and a couple jackets. Um, but yeah, we split 2 cases of tumblers, and she PayPal'd me the money for the tumblers. So of course I placed 2 Temu orders. My mother just texted. Can't read the whole thing obviously because I'm on here. All I saw was it's official. Winter is coming. That doesn't make me happy. You can probably hear that when it chirps through, huh? Um, sorry. It didn't occur to me to mute my ringer thingy. Didn't even occur to me. Just kind of hoping my sister would put in there where they're at. She didn't though. Yeah, if there's money in my PayPal account, apparently I just spend it on Temu now. And then they're like sponsored video categories. Like, I'll apologize now because the stuff you're going to see in sponsored videos has, the one I recorded yesterday, which is actually probably going to be the second one that goes up, has very little to do with crafting, but at least there's some crafting stuff. That one over there has absolutely nothing to do with crafting, but unfortunately, when I do the sponsored ones, they have to go on my primary channel. I can put like my other ones on the other channel and still link them and get credit for it, but these ones have to go to this channel. So I know it's like not what the channel's about, and ooh, but I just don't have a choice. So that's why you guys get stuck with stuff that you probably don't care about sometimes. It's just the agreement. I was very disappointed today. I was supposed to get the HTV run. My other channel is Raes Reads and Rambles. There's actually linked in the description on every video. Oh, my mother must have a lap full of cats. That's what's going on there. But, oh, okay. Hi, Marva. How are you? I was supposed to be able to be participating in the big launch today, the HTV Rant Tumbler Press. And unfortunately, that was coming from DHL as soon as it hit U.S. ground. DHL promptly sent it back. I frequently have problems with DHL, unfortunately. Our DHL driver looks like he only comes out of his mom's basement to deliver, and he shows up in whatever horrible rental van he can get to do his job for the day and opens the doors, and it's like a cloud of smoke. So my rep is trying to figure out why my press got returned and when and if it's coming back to me. But I'm very disappointed because today was the big launch and I didn't get to participate because thank you so much. So I was really bummed about that because I was going to stay home. I had cuts ready. I had half of them wrapped. I had more prints cuts. I was like, this is great. It's going to be here. Even if it showed up on Friday, I would stay home from the lake until it got there. I'd hurry up and do my unboxing and press with it quick. And yeah, no, I had to set the entire launch out, which is kind of funny because when they sent me the auto press last year, basically a similar thing happened. Like, it showed up 2 days late and my boyfriend actually had to do the unboxing video and try and send it to me because I wasn't in the camper, but I was up at the river on vacation when that showed up. So it's like, so yeah, I'm kind of bummed. Hi, Rochelle. How are you? Um, so yeah, that was kind of a bummer. Um, yeah, I don't know. He's a little Mickey one though. Um, yeah, it's just funny the way stuff works. I'm like, I was so frustrated when it got sent back because I just emailed my rep Cassie and I was like, um, because I was getting the confirmations about that at the same time I was trying to coordinate with her Gail's prize. And so I was like, when I responded the last time about Gail, I said, oh, and I just got notification that my press will be here at the latest on Friday, and that'll work out perfect. And then, like, 40 minutes later, they sent me the notification that it was on its way back. And I was like, oh my God. You know, only me, I swear. Only me. I mean, I know it's not only me, but I was like, ready to cry. Because I have been keeping my mouth shut about this press coming, first of all. And, you know, of all the things I've been sent to test, like, that was the one. That was the one this year that I was, like, so excited for. I know, not allowed to have it. No, and I can't tell them I don't want DHL because that's who, we don't have laser ship or anything else in this area. I mean, I have UPS, FedEx, and USPS, and DHL. We just started getting actual Prime deliveries maybe 4 months ago. Bye, Suey. I wish I could come visit you in Australia. Here's a Jeep one. Pink. It's starting to get dark out and I only have one light on in the camper, so if it gets too dark, I'll try and get some more light, although I'm probably not going to be on that much longer anyways. But yeah, so that's how my week's going. I'd also ordered more stuff for these from Amazon because it was set to be delivered Thursday, and then when I ordered, some of it said it was coming today, some of it said it was coming tomorrow, so I canceled a bunch. I'm just hanging out chatting and making some pens. Just because this was a good portable craft I could bring to my camper with me for the weekend. And I wanted to get a bunch done. So, I'm not really getting that many done, but that's quite alright. Like I said, I did bring some weeding to do for ornaments. I said that in the very beginning, but I really didn't. I have always wanted to go to Australia. The only thing that holds me back from Australia is the snakes. I am terrified of snakes. And I know they're not everywhere, but you have scary snakes compared to New York. I don't have any Hello Kitty. I haven't found anything Hello Kitty I can put on a pen yet. I haven't decided what I would sell them for. I see people the way they price them on TikTok and stuff all the time, and I guess if you're doing it for your primary business, but the problem with me doing lives is I don't actually have home internet. Believe it or not, I run my channel entirely from my phone, and we don't have a viable home internet service at home unless I buy Starlink, which is like a $650 investment. But that is the only stable, unlimited Wi-Fi available to us where we live. Yes, we can get satellite. Yes, we've done satellite. We've had 3 different satellite companies, and every single one of them is actually garbage and falls apart within 3 days. So my phone network can't support a live from home, unfortunately. I've tried and it doesn't work. So I'm like kind of hoping that my daughter that's home for school can maybe chip in some of the money, and then like if boyfriend wants to put in some of the money, and then I can come up with some of the money. But I am really like going to push to get it because again, that just became available in our area. So it's funny, in our area we live right off of a main road, but because there's so few houses through our stretch, we're just like not worth it for any of these companies to run through us. We actually just had, and this is so stupid, We just had Verizon run actual landline phone service to the pole outside our house. I mean, we don't have landline phones, but they just ran upgraded landline services to our road last week. Yes, Starlink is Elon Musk's company. And actually, if you've never seen one, we got to see our first satellite train 2 weeks ago up here. I can't remember how many my sister counted, and she didn't start counting at the beginning, but she counted like 35. It was actually kind of cool. I mean, I know it's space trash and all of that, but I believe the problem with Starlink is primarily that the dishes get warm outside your house and critters like to go nest in them in the winter time. So, and being that we are in the country, we do have plenty of critters out there to nest in them. I'm in New York State. I'm in central New York, the Finger Lakes area. I'm actually currently in northern New York, though, on Lake Ontario in my camper. So, yeah. I've lived in New York my entire life. Someday I'd like to live like 6 months of the year in this camper and 6 months in the year in a camper on the eastern shore of Virginia. That would be my ideal. I have no idea why Verizon would run landline phone service instead of, like, why wouldn't you just run Fios up our road? But we currently have 4 residents on our road. We're on a loop road with 5 houses. The one house has been empty for 8 years. It just got sold. So, they just don't want to provide services to us. It's so weird. We have fought and fought with the town. We actually have one of those like fly-by-night companies that has come through and dug the trenches and ran, oh really, you were from upstate? That's fun. Did I know that before? But they've run like the conduit, but there's no actual plan to run anything through it, and they still, where they stopped in the town, didn't even come as far as us anyway, so it's still not an option if something comes through that down the road. It's weird. I mean, that whole New York State had a thing with Spectrum that they had to serve the whole state by whatever year, and yeah, none of that ever came through. It's just, I mean, we actually cut our dish television service. Even like if we watch anything, we stream it and stream it through our mobile networks. It's just been because we don't watch TV. I mean, we watch local news or weather or whatever, but we're not. Oh right, you're the one from Owasco. Okay, duh. Yeah, it's too bad you're not here because you'd be like 15 minutes from me. I just run my hotspot from my phone because there's also not a cell tower near enough to us. Our phones don't even work for a good chunk of the day back and forth because we don't have a strong enough 5G in our area yet to give us more than like 1 bar of 5G. And if you're in one of these areas, you would know like how your phone bounces in and out when your service isn't strong enough. Yeah, we're just a hot mess in our area. I mean, that's all there is to it. Spectrum did just finally run to like where several of my friends live on outlying areas of towns. It's just the problem if you don't want to live in the actual town areas of the town. It's just, it's crazy. Here, I just did one of those other, this one says Mama needs coffee. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Spectrum, but honestly, if they came through my street tomorrow, I would sign up for everything they offered. I'd be like, yep, sign me up. Because Spectrum would be better than nothing. I'm actually on Spectrum right now. That's the sad part. I can get Spectrum in my camper sitting on the lake, but I can't have Spectrum at home. Why? Why? That's the frustrating part. You hear my dog over here grunting and sighing like he's disgusted with the world. I think he's tired. I think that long drive he made today wore him out. He didn't even lay down at all on the ride. He just sat there looking out the window. But he made me do all the driving as usual. I hate this time of year. I hate how dark it gets out fast. It's not even 7:30 yet. It's a little pumpkin gnome. What's next? Yeah, he just doesn't lay down anymore. Or if he does, he'll wait until I'm like on the last road before I pull in here, or I'm on the main road right before the turn off to our road. You're getting the pens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't get to see that comment. Now I have to wait until somebody else comments. I feel like such an enabler sometimes. Although, everybody else enables me, so I guess it's only fair. I don't like that. Oh, I do like blue. Mom worked at Auburn Cable, like you have free cable service. Oh, that was crazy. Yeah. See, you know, you lived in this area. The funniest part is when we moved in, the guy, not on our road, but diagonal from our house, on the main road, worked for Spectrum, but had Dish Network for his own service because he couldn't get service even though that's who he worked for. I was like, yep. We are definitely a little underserved. I mean, that's why you'll hear me, we're not on the end of the town with municipal water. That's why when I'm doing water slides and stuff, you'll see me using bottled water and saying it's because we're on a well. Because I don't want the hard water from the well affecting any of what I'm working on. Excuse me. I was actually sitting outside earlier before I decided to come in and come on here, and the allergies from home are definitely catching up to up here now. The growing season up here is a little bit behind. I'm sorry, I missed that question. They will not be in my Etsy shop. If you see a pen and you want it, you can message me because I'm not really selling them. I mean, I will if somebody wants one, but I know it sounds like a third world country, right? It's crazy. I end around the Wi-Fi issue by like I do all my recording and I get my editing done, and then when I get to work, I upload from the work Wi-Fi. That's why sometimes you'll see these videos popping up like overnight. Because when it's something I want out like right away, I'll just let it dump as soon as it's upload whatever time at work. So luckily I do have a job where I can do that. Jiminy Cricket with a popsicle. But yeah, it's you learn to work around it. I had to turn on a couple more lights because it is getting dark super duper fast. There we go. That's better. Starting to feel like I was in a cave. So yeah, I've kind of learned to work around it all. But that was why when I very first started this channel, because I started this channel in like January of 2020, and I had like a handful of videos up, and then COVID happened, and we got sent home from work for like 3 months. So I don't have a Dumbo yet, but if I come across a Dumbo, some people go online and buy like other people's doorables that they've unboxed. So far, all the ones I'm using are ones that I have unboxed personally on my other channel. And I know there are Dumbos in there. I just haven't gotten one yet. I'm just using the ones I get as I get them. So, no, I don't currently have a Dumbo. But anyways, we got sent home for 3 months on COVID, and then I had like no internet access, so that was interesting. Oh, hello from Sweden. Oh, isn't Sean the best? He's just so cute. So yeah, that like caused me some setbacks on this channel, because really all the way around, because I wasn't going anywhere or seeing anybody. My email is in most of my videos. It's definitely in the 2 sale videos that just went up. So yeah, just find me there and message me there if you're not a Facebook person. I kind of wish YouTube had an actual built-in messaging app, but then at the same time, I think that would be really a nightmare also. So I'm like, sometimes I want that feature, and sometimes I absolutely do not want that feature. And sometimes I say something and I wonder if I made sense to anybody in the whole world. Yeah, my email's not really a government secret at this point. I mean, it's actually kind of funny because my Etsy is linked to this channel name's email, but the one I use through this channel, I don't actually use that email address. Like on my Gmail, my other email carries the title of this one, and that's the one that's linked to the channel, which is why I don't use the email that corresponds to the channel name for the channel, because it's not linked that way, because I didn't know what I was doing when I started, apparently. This is just another mug one. This is on a kind of floral pen. This is one of the Wife Mom Boss ones. Yeah, I started and didn't know what I was doing, really. I actually started the channel by accident. I did all those tumblers for the fire department, and a couple people wanted to know how I made them and stuff. So I made some on video, and they were way too long to send or post to Facebook. So I was like, well, I'll throw them out on YouTube. And that is how this channel was born. was simply from that. I never woke up one day and was like, ooh, I really want to start a YouTube channel. I'm actually a terribly, terribly introverted human being. Until you get to know me, and then they tell me I don't shut up, but I'm very, very shy. Not sure I love this pen color for her, but it's like what I've got for blue. So, but yeah, my email is available. I am in the middle of a pre-sale for tumblers because I cannot seem to get it together enough to have an actual sale. We've taken a couple Sundays off and extended our weekends and had holidays on Sundays, so we've been here longer weekends. So basically what happens if we have Sunday or Monday off is Monday is my Sunday night. So I get home Monday, I go to work, and then I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at home. I go to work Friday and then come home and come right back here. Some days I come up here, like I go home and pick the dog up and drive straight here. So I am basically trying to cram an entire week into 3 days lately. So it's been a struggle, to say the least. It's been a packed summer. Not complaining at all. It's been a beautiful summer. I mean, it really hasn't. The weather's been terrible for the last 2 weeks have been good, but we had 6 weeks between 4th of July and last week that were awful. But yeah, it's just been crazy. Here's that little fawn on a gold pen because he kind of matches well. I absolutely love these guys. I love vintage deer and things. Even, modern vintage. I'll have to show you when I decorate for Christmas this year, my little vintage deers. Oh, I'm so glad you learned something. In my fire cup video, yeah, that was a really, really old, back in the day when the phone I recorded from would only record 30 minutes at a time, and I had no idea how to edit a video, and it was terrible. I mean, it was bad. But I've gotten better since then. I mean, I'd like to think so, but not really. I actually have 3 more payments on this phone, and then I need to upgrade because the back, obviously you're on the front camera right now, but the back camera is cracked in like 4 places now, and I'm surprised it still works at all. So I'm just kind of like biding my time and waiting to be able to get a new one, because that needs to happen very, very soon. It is a lot of work. It's all a lot of work. I mean, it takes me probably nearly twice as long to get anything done. And then, editing time and uploading time, and it's definitely a lot of work. I do find it rewarding most of the time. You guys see me have my little meltdowns now and then, but I have my little meltdown, then I'm good. Having my retail space get moved threw me for a loop. I knew it was potentially coming, but I didn't realize it was going to happen that fast. And hopefully I'll be locked into another retail space soon here. I'd like to be able to be into that space in October. She only requires a 3-month contract to start, so that would give me October, November, December, and I could kind of feel out the store. And that, her rent goes by foot of space, so I can kind of keep that small to feel it out, and then if she has more room, I could do more. Bye, Gail. Have a good night. But that was kind of stressful. I still have stuff at my house that I have to figure out where to put, and it kind of eliminates any kind of wood crafting at the moment, which is okay because I really don't need more crafts, right? Um, but yeah, if I can get into another space, that will be very helpful. Just to have a little more room. Nodding as I'm talking, that's what I do. I talk to the screen. I mean, I actually kind of wish, sometimes I wish it was more like Zoom, because oddly enough I can maintain a Zoom connection through my phone because my sister and my mom and I will craft through Zoom, but for whatever reason the way YouTube's whatever's powering this doesn't work. That's what I'm trying to say. Did that make sense? Oh, you work from home full time on this type of stuff? You're only sort of... Oh. Yeah, my boyfriend's a huge extrovert. He is one of the chattiest people I've ever met in my life. And, totally opposite of me. Totally the opposite. Me, I am so quiet and awkward and shy. Like, it's not even funny. And people that know me don't believe that. I'm like, no, I am that person at a party that doesn't know how to speak to people and just stands in the wall. Like, even sometimes when it's people I do know, I'm just awkward. I've always been that way. You know, I was always the kid that didn't want to be picked in gym class. You know, I wanted to work backstage at the plays. So there's Buzz. You're all in people's faces. See, I'm just not... if I'm gonna talk to anybody, it will be like people that I've never met probably walk away and they're like, what the heck just happened? Because once I start talking, I don't shut up, and all of a sudden this person that, you know, held the door for me then knows my full life story if I'm in one of those like jacked up on coffee chatty modes. Like they probably literally walk away and they're like, what the hell was that? Because I'm either quiet or I'm just, I don't know. Like, I get the awkward silence and I just blab to fill it, I guess. I don't know. Oh, thanks for hanging out with me. Have a good night. See, Marva, you're like me, but you have no problem getting on camera and recording and doing what you're doing. If you guys don't know, Marva has a channel. She's fairly new. She just got monetized like last month, I think. She does resin pours and she does some fun, cute stuff. So if you wanted to check her out, that would be cool. The beads, are they just all gumball beads from Temu? No. These ones are actually from Hey, that's the first bead I dropped all night. These ones are from Amazon, the 20mm ones. When I started buying these, Temu didn't have like any supplies yet. And they didn't have anything like sized. So, my first rounds of beads came from Amazon. And then Temu started getting... Oh, good, you watch her and subscribe too. Awesome. But yeah, now I'm ordering a ton of stuff from Temu. I actually have a ton of stuff coming now. But these big gumball beads are from Temu. I would say that these ones, the ones I just held up and dropped, are the only ones that are truly considered a gumball bead, the 20mm ones. All of these smaller ones and the silicone ones um, are from Temu now. And I do have some of the, shaped ones. And some of these are even just wooden beads, actually from Dollar Tree, because why not? Amazon is really well priced on beads. I didn't even know Michaels had them. My Michaels trip the other day consisted of grabbing the 2 grab boxes and finding the vase filler I wanted, and then I got the hell out. I don't actually particularly like our Michaels, and I was very disappointed in it. I actually cried when COVID hit and everything shut down because our AC Moore, a lot of you probably didn't ever have an AC Moore because they were more regional. But they were just starting to really clearance out the store when COVID hit, and like I literally shed a tear because I did not get to say goodbye to AC Moore. It was terrible. Like I drove into the plaza one day and it was closed, and they turned it into the Aldi's because where the Aldi's was actually sinking the foundation. And I walked into the Aldi's the first time where AC Moore was and shed another little tear for my lost AC Moore. AC Moore was my favorite craft store of all time. Did I just show you Woody or no? Right there's Buzz and Woody. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Michaels anymore. Michaels used to be great. They used to be like, go there for all your scrapbooking supplies, and I went there before the last retreat and I was so disgusted by the selection. I know AC Moore always had an aisle of made seasonal decor, but it was like an aisle or 2, and that was it. The craft stores that are half decor, to me, are not a craft store. In fact, to me, it's kind of counterintuitive and working against the idea of a craft store, because why is somebody going to buy it from me if I make it if they already have it made? So to me, it kind of goes against crafters to have that much made decor in a craft store. We actually have up here where I camp, we're only like 20 miles outside of Watertown, and there's a Michael's, a Joann's, and a Hobby Lobby, like all in this little tiny, you can see them off from each other basically. So that's the only time I go to Hobby Lobby. I don't have, actually until our Michael's opened last November, I didn't have a craft store within like 30 miles of my house again. We used to have a Joann's, we used to have AC Moore, and then they both closed. So at first I was like really excited to get a Michael's again, and yeah, it's a bit lackluster when I go in there, unfortunately. But if you need something in a pinch, it's better than absolutely nothing, I suppose. In theory, anyways, it's better than nothing. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Michaels. All craft stores have gone down. They really have gone downhill. I mean, like I said, it's become more and more and more pre-made, ready home decor, and I don't like that. It's always aggravated me. I mean, Joann's has always had their little section too, but they were small sections. It wasn't the entire center of the store. Like, are you a home goods or are you a craft store? And every bit of the pre-made stuff takes away from having actual craft supplies, in my opinion. I mean, when I started scrapbooking when my son was born. My first Mother's Day, my husband at the time gave me $100 to go spend on scrapbook supplies because this is what I wanted to do. This was when Michael's first had the memories aisle. Like, I think that's actually what was above the aisle in the store, and it was like one aisle. It did get dark here fast, didn't it? It's not even quite 8 o'clock yet, and it's, yep. Oh, and my camper's a mess, but here, we're gonna go on a little trip. I think my cord will reach. Oh, sorry, Blake. And I don't know if you can see. That's our sunset. I can't get you any closer because I'm plugged. Well, here. Yes, I can. Just unplug the phone. Hopefully I'm not making anybody sick. There's our sunset. There's my screen. Yeah, we don't get a full sunset where we're at on the lake until about this time of year is when we start really getting sunsets. And I can tell you that when I get off of here, I'm actually going to be probably getting on my boyfriend's zero gravity chair and bundling up in some warm clothes and tipping back and stargazing because it was crystal clear today, which means my night sky should be spectacular. I like to say it's like sitting in a soup bowl of stars. We have no outside lights. My parents have one outside light that we generally shut off when they're not here. And my sister has some outside lights, and the camper next to them has some outside lights. But there is zero light pollution here. So on a clear day, we get the entire Milky Way. Like I can see it from horizon to horizon, and more stars than you can ever imagine. So I'm tonight will be a stargazing night for sure. But here's a horror pen. I did decide I had enough stuff to do him because yeah. But it is definitely going to be a starry night. I can tell by the way the day was. So I am excited for that. I'm not going to make a campfire by myself because that's just no fun. But yeah, beautiful sunsets on the lake. That's what we do get. We get very nice sunrises. And a lot of days I see both. It's kind of jarring how dark it got on either end of the day, though, because my dog is used to being up at 5:30 in the morning because I get out of work, and he's usually waiting at the door for me when I get home, and it's pitch black in the morning when I get home again already, and it's pitch black now. Well, it's not pitch black yet, but it's headed that way rapidly. It's just crazy. It's crazy how fast it changes, and it's kind of sad. Yeah, lake sunsets are the best. I would miss them too if we didn't get them. It's funny, I live at the top of one of the lakes, and I almost never catch sunsets at the lake, but driving home in the morning there's a good like month span where I get a full sunset view on my way home, or sunrise view on my way home, and it's spectacular across the lake. But driving into work, I get some fantastic moonrises, so, you know. But I think I am going to wrap this up here. It's almost 8 o'clock, and I'm going to take my dog out. I still haven't actually eaten dinner. I kind of grabbed snacks for lunch on my way in. And depending on what's going on tomorrow, because usually when we're all here as a group, we do a lot of cooking, and my camper is the entertainment camper. It's funny. My camper is actually the smallest of the 3 campers, but somehow we have more room inside for all of us. I'll never figure that out. But since it's just me, my sister, and her husband, I just bought myself like a couple of pre-made salads and stuff to eat because I don't really feel like going out. I just want to chill out and relax. So maybe I'll pop in again tomorrow if they're out doing something, because they don't get a lot of not at work quiet time alone either. So, but maybe I'll pop back on tomorrow or something if I get time. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I know I didn't get a lot of pens done, but whatever. I just brought them to have something to do because I won't watch TV here by myself, and just, if I get insomnia in the middle of the night, I can get up and do some weeding. But this was fun. I'm glad some people hopped on, considering I gave everybody no warning whatsoever that I was going to do this. Wasn't even sure it was going to work. It's been great chatting with all of you, and I appreciate you all, and I will see you soon. I hope everybody has a great night, and I'm going to try and figure out how to end the live because I don't know how. Marva, it was great hanging out with you too. I'm glad to see you here. I'm going to catch up on some of your videos. I usually do that Sunday nights when I get back to work, when I miss the weekends. But I think I caught a couple of them the other night on my lunch break. So, but yeah, have a great night, everybody. I will see you soon.